So, welcome back to Fiveless Manisher. Today we have Throne of Eldraine, everybody's favorite We're Getting Sick of It set. This will be my first full box that I am opening. I have done several of the pre-releases, well, I mean I've done 2 pre-releases and I've done several of the drafts since then, so I'm a little familiar with this set overall. I've been following it. I really enjoy it. The commercial for it actually made me really happy. And now I am here to go ahead and share it with you. See what we can pull out of here. This set seems to be the one that has some of the most other types of cards. The whole gift edition packs. Got crumbs on there out of that, sorry. The special ones. Everybody's opening up these $300, you get 16 packs in the box, half of it's foils sets, and while I would love to be able to do that, there's no way I am affording something like that right now, but I can do just a regular box of Throne of Eldraine. Again, I am loving this set. I'm loving the whimsy of it, the playability, the fun different tribes that they have going in it. Definitely a lot of knights. Not as strong as you would think they were. Just, sorry, this box spewed little crumbs out and it's confusing me. So, let's go ahead and get into this. The adventure cards in here have taken a little while for me to get used to, but overall I have found I really like them. This is going to be backwards. All right. So we are going to go this way. There we go. Archon of Absolution, Epic Downfall, Witch's Oven, and Witch's Vengeance. There we go. So apparently these packs are going to be packed backwards from what I'm used to. Okay, now that we know that, we can continue on. This was the box that I got at the pre-release and that I've just been holding on to. Until I could do a video of it for everybody. I feel they made a lot of good decisions with this. I also feel that they missed a couple things that they could have done. Maybe worked in some modern fairy tales with it, along with all of the old fashion style fairy tales. Get some Labyrinth in there. With the Ginger Brute, something I've been thinking about is wouldn't it be awesome if they had put a worm in there, the wall, worm of the wall. And that worm of the wall you could tap the worm of the wall to make target creature with defender lose, or with unblockable lose unblockable till end of turn. Because you never listen to the worm, he'll always send you the wrong way. Once in Future, Thunder Snapper, and Oathsworn Knight. And we have there you go, a shiny Castle Ventress. So, it's just stuff like that, there are modern fairy tales and myths that have been told that could have been worked into this without violating copyright. I know that's always a concern, but you don't have to say exactly where it's from, and you can get around that, and people would have appreciated it, I think. You could have put in a fairy snuffer, a goblin who can sacrifice the goblin to destroy a fairy, or something like that. You could even do Neverending Story type stuff and add a luck dragon and have it be a white version of the claw that, you know, you trade back and forth and you get to get extra cards. Well, we have Spectre's Shriek, Sir Arlen, the Lion's Claw, Elite Headhunter, and Feyburrow Elder. Ooh, pardon the noise. I don't know. But in playing this, it's really fun. There's a lot of things in here that really stir up the game and kind of make it more interesting. The adventure cards I have found very useful, not only because you get 2 cards for 1 basically, but also because they get them out of your hand, they get them into exile, and there's only 1 card that I know of in here that gets rid of cards that are on an adventure, but there's nothing I really know that gets rid of cards in that exile state otherwise. Which means you can kind of protect your creatures even when stuff is forcing you to, you know, go through your hand quicker and all of that. It'll be really interesting once Arena puts it on Omniscience, to see how that works, because you can play the adventures, get it all out of your hand, put in like the dragon that lets you draw 7 new hand cards each time you attack, but also have all the creatures. I don't know. Just thinking through. Into the story. Rally for the Throne. Fireborn Knight. And Fae of Wishes. I do enjoy all the fairies that came out of this. I do wish that the Ginger Brute was actually the female gingerbread man, or I guess gingerbread woman, that was in the ad that they came out with it, with the pitchfork and everything. But I'll take what I can get. What do we have? Skullknocker Ogre. Foulmere Knight. Sorcerer's Broom. And Once Upon a Time. Okay. I also have noticed that the cards in these packs are looser than they've been before. Like there's more pack. I don't remember all the packs having the reverse order thing. I wonder if it's just because this is one of the earlier boxes. It is throwing me off a little bit. That's the only reason I'm bringing it up again. Burning Yard Trainer. Savvy Hunter. I've seen some great things done with the food tokens. Grumgully the Generous. And Linden the Steadfast Queen. Oh, and we have a shiny cat, Cauldron Familiar. Cauldron Familiar with the Oven has been kind of a nasty combo. Once Upon a Time. What are some of your favorite combos that have come out of this? How do you feel about the adventure stuff, the new knights, the disconnection this has from pretty much all of the previous sets? Do you think they're going to stick with this kind of direction, or is this going to just be like a one-off set that they've been sitting on for a while, trying to figure out where they're going to put it now that the War of the Spark kind of ended that whole storyline, and they're trying to figure out where they're going to go from here? Revenge of the Ravens, Mira Leaf Pixie, Trail of Crumbs, Black Lace Paragon. Well, hopefully we'll get, like, you know, an OkO in here, or there we go. Deafening Silence. Intermore Conrad. Heraldic Banner. Folio of Fancies. And a special Luck Dragon. Not the Luck Dragon I was kind of talking about earlier, but a Luck Dragon. At the very first pre-release, I went to my promo card was actually the Emery of the Lock. And then I pulled a very heavy artifact base pull out of those 6 packs and ended up with a kind of nice win condition card if I could get it out, being able to cycle artifacts all the way around over and over again. One entire one with Gingerbrute being the only card I could damage with, and they kept killing it, and I kept putting it back out with Emery. It was kind of nasty in many ways. Embereth Shieldbreaker. Steelclaw Lance, which is one I haven't seen yet. Sierra Onya. Happily Ever After. This one seems to be coming up in popularity as people are figuring out color combos and different ways to get it actually to trigger. Which is understandable. It's not exactly the easiest card to have the win condition actually trigger while keeping it on the field. But even in this set, there's a nice set of artifacts that are dual colored, which makes a difference in getting that. Okay. Sleeping Beauty, Cauldron's Gift. And Giant Killer. We got our first Fairy Tale border. I still have mixed feelings on this whole, let's add Fairy Tale borders, let's add full arts, let's add shiny versions of all of them. It seems like a lot to add all in one set. Like, they really were just pushing for a little bit of everything with this to see what did best for future reference. But the market for it is still there, so, I mean, I guess there's something to be said for it on that level. Venerable Knight. The Innkeeper. Used him a couple times in some of my drafts with the adventure cards. He is a good card for that. Spinning Wheel. And then we have Bone Crusher Giant, and there's the Witch's Oven that goes with the Cauldron Familiar. They are a nice combo to have together, that is for sure. I am making a mess. There we go. I feel like I mixed these up. Give me a second. One of you out there is squealing in pain from the piles being all mixed up. I know that already. Because it just hurt me to look down and realize. So hopefully that's the only mix-up I really had, and everything else is still on par. Okay, that looks better. How about that? So, what other cards do you think they missed in here? I mean, I was talking about, like, the worm in the wall idea. Have you thought of anything like that? Like any fairy tale based stuff that would have fit well into this deck or made a good card? Giant Opportunity. Shambling Suits. Improbable Alliance, and Lochmere Serpent. It's Nessie. And a Runaway together in the Shiny Foil Syndrome. Alright. Slingfire. There is a Fairy Tale border of the OkO Ranger. Seer Farron. Questing Beast. Nice. It is a mythic for the pile. I know Questing Beast is one of the really sought after ones right now. Oof. Sorry, sitting at an odd angle for a while there. No OkO yet. Although, with the threat of OkO being banned, it seems like his popularity has slightly diminished. It hasn't gone away, but I don't see as much OkO talk as I was seeing. There's the Enchanted Carriage, Ferocity of Wilds, Rampart Smasher, and the Mirror Maid. So it'll be interesting to see if OkO manages to last past the launch of the next set or not. I do believe that he will stay until at least the next set is launched. I don't think they will take OkO out of there, Shepherd of the Flock with the Fairy Tale border, until they launch the next set. He is the power card of this set. And it gives people a chance to figure out if he's actually going to be a long-term problem or if decks are going to be able to be built around that. That is part of the challenge, is building your deck to defend against all the other decks. Stolen by Fae is going to be our rare, and we got a Shiny Mountain. So, I don't know. That's a weird subject. I know everybody has opinions on that one right now. I'd love to hear yours. What's your favorite part of the set? What's your least favorite part? Where do you think Wizards is going with this? I mean, is the adventure going to last? Is the fairy tale theme going to last? Are they just going to ignore it? Mad Ratter. There's another Cauldron familiar. Rock Dragon. And the Great Henge. Okay. Which is a mythic, so it should go here. There we go. Let's keep our piles organized for those who like the organization. There we go. Tournament Grounds, which is great for a night deck. There's Owl and the Banner and our Lovestruck Beast. Great low cast beast. 5/5 with a major restriction of you have to have a 1/1 creature in play for it to do anything. I mean, it can still block, so at least it's a good early on defender at the very least. And its adventure, being able to create that 1/1 does help if you can keep it alive. Against any sort of field control deck, you're kind of out of luck. And turn to a pumpkin. And Steelclaw Lance. Flaxen Intruder, which is our Goldilocks, of course. And our Hushbringer with a shiny Wildborn Preserver. Okay. I will take that. This has been a very foil-centric box so far. I'm not complaining at all. I know before the set came out, Hushbringer kind of got a lot of talk about how powerful it was and how it was going to break the game, and then as soon as the set came out, people just stopped talking about it because OkO took all the attention once people realized what he could do. There's our glass casket, anti-animating fairy, not anti, Fireborn Knight, and, okay, our Fairy Tale Border Bone Crusher Giant. Which, of course, all the Fairy Tale borders have the alternate arts to them. Which really just means it's that many more cards to collect and that many more boxes to open. That's how Wizards gets you. You want to collect them all. You want to open them yourself, you're going to have to open a lot of packs. Alright. And we have Righteousness, and Frogify, and Bognaughty, and there is the Wishclaw Talisman that I think they can make a white version of as a Luck Dragon. Maybe a weaker version that doesn't last as long. Or a creature that's easier to kill or something like that. Comes in with counters and you remove a counter to do it and it changes hands. Something like that. We have all of those placed in the wrong pile just to annoy you. There we go. Back on the commons. We're going to move that aside because it's going to start toppling. Alright, and Joust. And Kenrith's Transformation. Inspiring Veteran. And Embercleave. Alright, third mythic. Along with Gingerbread Cabin for our foil. This box has a lot of foils, seriously. A little over halfway, and I think we've gotten a foil in every other pack so far. There we go. Skip the commons. You all know those by now. Overwhelmed Apprentice. Drown in the Luck. Lucky Clover. My God, did Arena have trouble with that for the longest time. It wasn't until a week ago they fixed the problem where if you had this in play and played an adventure, it would actually discard the whole card after the second adventure resolved, which means you wouldn't have the creature in exile, which ruined the entire point of the adventure cards. And a couple drafts that I tried doing using that because I got 2 Lucky Clovers going with a whole bunch of adventure cards for the drafts on Arena. But that's fixed now. Fires of Innovation can be nice. And Lucky Clover works on Arena the way it is supposed to, finally. What we have going here. Right. Mysterious Pathlighter. Belle of the Brawl. Beanstalk Giant. And Castle Gardenberg. Okay, well, our every other pack foil seems to have been spoiled. Shouldn't have talked about it as much. Not that it would have made a difference, but it's fun to say. I did appreciate them putting on an adventure markers in here, because until I got one of those, it was really confusing on where to keep my adventure cards. Inquisitive Puppet, Red Cap Melee, Deathless Knight, and Aaron Cragg Pyromancer, along with a shiny Mistford River Turtle. Trying to keep them in exile where I would remember and be able to play them, but at the same time not mix them with my other exile cards, or put them somewhere where I'd mistake them for being on the board because other people are having the same problem. And then the second pre-release I played is actually when I got one of those. And it made so much more sense because you could just set it there, put your adventure cards there, play them off of it, or place it right in front of you below your mana. You know, the things Wizards thinks through. They do that sometimes. Well, now that we've seen all... Now that we've seen all the uncommons, we have Sage of the Falls, Wandermare, Order of Midnight, and Stonecoil Serpent. That kicked my ass a couple times in drafts. Reach and Trample and Protection from Multicolor makes for a pretty powerful card overall. And Slaying Fire, Wintermoor Commander, Sarah Eleonora, and the Magic Mirror. Nice. I do believe that's a foil and in the wrong spot now. Okay, I will fix these because there's not enough room. So 4 foils and 5 alt borders. Yeah, not too shabby. Not with all the foils that came out of that as well. There we go. Is that a little more organized for you? Alright. Working our way down. So, how's the new setup working out for everyone? I got the new lights going to help out Spectre Shriek, Sire Aelin. There's another Lucky Clover. Oop. We have a shiny Deathless Knight. And Dance of the Mense? Menze? That doesn't go there. But yeah, no, I got a couple lights going, so you can actually see what's going on. It's not grainy like it was before because I had to adjust the levels weird. In addition, I also figured out how to adjust my camera so that it wouldn't shut off after 20 minutes. And make me have to have a weird jump in the middle where I had to start recording again and all that. I also got a battery that is actually a plug-in converter. So it plugs into the wall and has a cord that runs up into a battery-shaped connector that goes into the camera. And that seems to be working out pretty well overall. Haven't had any glitches, been running it just fine. Hypnotic Sprite, Elite Headhunter, and Yorvo, the Lord Greenbrig. So yeah, a little bit of setup update, and I feel it actually looks a little bit better. I've been watching off and on up above in the small little screen I have, and it seems to be working out. I think the next step is setting it so that I can actually have a monitor down below that I'm looking at just past what I'm working on, so I don't have to keep looking up and down to see if I'm in focus or what's going on. I can actually just keep on going and keep moving and make sure things are in focus. Things are going clearly, that I'm staying centered and not drifting down to the bottom here because it's more comfortable here than it is out here. Fun stuff. Fairytale Border, Emerith Shieldbreaker. Okay, Ranger. Epic Downfall, and Castle Ventrese. My new mat is also fun. This is just a nice felt card mat. That's all it is. It was the easiest thing I could get on short term within the price budget that I had set aside after getting all the other things that I needed to get. I did recently actually get a good deal on a few other mats that are actually Magic related. So I'll be able to switch those out, have some interesting backgrounds going, if you care. I kind of like the felt mat. It's also nice for when I'm working on sorting stuff and everything because it's not scratchy. It's nice and soft, which is important. Into the story. Giant Opportunity. Once and Future. And Aria First of the Eldraine. Thwain. Rally for the Throne. Falmer Knight. However, I do feel they missed a beat in not putting the Throne of Eldraine out there and making it a battle for the throne when it was on the field. Our Generous Guy, our Giant Killer, and our Giant Killer is our rare. And our Lash of Thorns. Nice. I don't know what the Throne of Eldraine would have done, but it would have been some sort of fun perk that you could have tried to gain control over, maybe by spending mana and having it to be countered by the other person. Claim the Firstborn. All That Glitters. Sarah Conrad. And there's the Midnight Clock. I don't know, I think you could have done the throne so that it gave a single creature, like an equipable thing, so it gave a single creature a bonus of some sort. And then if that creature was killed, ownership of the throne went to the player who killed that creature. So you can maintain it by sacking your own creature if it's about to die, and keep the throne for yourself, otherwise it would go over to whoever killed the creature. For them to be able to equip to another creature. Shambling Suit. And Runaway Pile of Cards. Okay, there we go. Keeper of Fables. Shrine Chaser. And there's our Emery of the Lock. First promo card that I got in my first pre-release. And we got a shiny Fairy Tale Border Merfolk Secret Keeper. Nice. And of course, as I'm talking about these, if anybody from Wizards is listening from development and is like, oh, that's a good idea, you know, you can message me and be like, hey, job opportunity. And I'll be like, hey, I'm on it. I'm only so far away, we can work something out. So, love opening it, love the cards, love the artwork. I am admittedly not the strongest player out there. I don't ever think I will be, but it doesn't matter because I always love playing. I enjoy playing with strangers, I enjoy playing with friends. Fairy Vandal, Resolute Rider, Clockwork Servant, and Sorceress's Spyglass. Sorceress Spyglass. And on top of all of those, I love adding vowels to things. I mean, if it were up to me, you know, half these names would have an extra 3 vowels in them just so that they sounded weird. And nowhere near as simple as they actually are. Deafening Silence. Probable Alliance. Sarah Faldrin. There's our Charming Prince. And a shiny cow. We got the shiny cow for the beans. And the beans turn something into a giant. I do enjoy that they did kind of tales that went along with this. And kind of went together, so certain cards actually made sense. There's that. And then we have Reverse Urge, Sarah Cariff, Cauldron's Gift, and Opportunistic Dragon for the ending. Okay. So, pretty good box overall. Not a single Planeswalker in that box of any sort whatsoever, but there's not many in this set, so not a huge surprise. No Mythic Fairy Tale Borders. A couple rarer, though. We'll take it. Nothing to scoff at. And some pretty stuff, though. Well, this has been Fievel's Mana Short. Thank you for joining me for another box opening. I hope you had a good time. Thank you.